pretty busy day. Again, sorry I haven't been able to stream so much this week. I'm still getting over my wisdom tooth extraction, and it still hurts surprisingly. I thought the kind of pain would be kind of gone by now, but apparently not. So today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, what happened with Tesla, and Netflix after earnings, and then what the forecast is really for Bitcoin here going forward, because it is pretty interesting here. Before I forget, sorry, Loki's over here. Today's stream is sponsored by Fairdesk, so please make sure you go check them out in the comments down below and the comment I have over here pinned in the chat. Okay, let me go back over here very fast and make sure everything's working. I think everything's working. Okay, there we go. Sorry, YouTube's saying there's an issue, but I'm hoping there's not an issue, so we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, but as far as Bitcoin's concerned right now, everybody, we're still testing out that level of resistance. I was hoping and hoping and hoping we would have some type of reversal here in the short term, but if I go over here on the 4-hour chart, you can see we've been taking these dips and dips and dips, and at this point, we're looking for a death cross to occur off of the moving averages on the 4-hour chart in particular. So if we zoom out a little bit, we talked about this before. We zoom out here on the weekly chart, you guys can clearly see levels of support up here or semi-resistance. We've talked about these levels of resistance a few times. Hey Michael, hey Little Cola, hope you guys are both doing awesome. We've talked about these levels of resistance quite a bit. The easy one that I can put on here is the Fibonacci resistance. The other one is, of course, the resistance level from back over here on 33,000, the resistance up here on 32,000. That $32,000 to $33,000 block here, that's just becoming a big pain in the butt for us at this point. However, once we start going over here to the daily chart and stuff like this, we can see we've still been trading in this we can say it's been an eventful few weeks, but in reality all we've been doing is going up, down, hey Island Time, up, down, and it's just been kind of like fun at times, but also just pretty boring here. You guys can see we've been pretty much trading in this range. We've had a little bit of small breakdowns above it, small breakouts above it. Every time we get to the bottom, people buy. Every time we get to the top, people sell. At this point, because we're not really having that super juiced move, chances are we're most likely going to have another dip down before we have a breakout. I'm hoping we can have some type of news, or at least whales can come in here at the last minute to stop us from having this move back down to maybe like $29,000, $28,000 if Bitcoin really wants to go down that way. If we go over here to the 4-hour chart, this is really just what my concern is right now. We've hit that support level again, we've bounced, but now we're starting to see some of those longer term moving averages catch up, and I don't want to see those trends shift a little bit. Earlier today, I'm not going to go over it too much more here, but earlier today I did post a video going over a lot of the oscillators. So we had like RSIs, MACDs, stochastics, and the CCI. Most of those aren't terrible, but you are seeing some bearish divergence on a few of them. I think if you were to pull up the divergence for many indicators, indicator on TradingView, you might have three bearish alerts coming on as far as divergences are concerned. Let me actually go over here to the daily chart and let me see if I can actually just find that, because that's something easy. Yeah, divergence from many indicators right here. Yeah, so you're seeing a little bit right here, okay? A little bit of divergence, nothing too much, but you can see how it's kind of adding up. We're definitely having a lot more divergence right now on the bearish side than we are on the bullish side. However, you can see we had a little bit over here with the OBV and the CCI on this side. So hopefully on the daily chart, things can tilt around. If we went over to the weekly chart, you guys can see there's maybe more bearish here. But again, you know, we were pretty bearish over here before we had that big jolt. But of course, that was something more of a news event here. So let's hope we can get some more news. I heard today that Gary Gensler once again called crypto a fraud, a scam, you know, stuff like that. So he lost a big battle. He's embarrassed by it, and he has to find a way to get some credibility back to the SEC. And with him losing in such a big case that's been going on for years and years and years, you know, I don't know how they are going to try to combat the Coinbase and how they're going to try to go after Binance in the future, because they have to work from a different model at this point. They've been assuming that they were going to win the XRP case the whole time. We had some grumblings and stuff like that over the past few months. Like I know one of the more prominent crypto guys out there, BitBoy, he was saying that there was some really bad news that he knew about XRP and how XRP was going to lose the court battle. Apparently didn't happen that way, but I think people were definitely a little bit more pessimistic about the XRP case. I felt like they were going to win, but at the same time, just because you feel like they're in the right, the judges and political nature of this type of stuff doesn't always make it correct or make it mean it's going to happen. But yeah, so interesting day here. If you zoom out just one more time to the weekly charts, we're definitely seeing a little bit of bearish divergences. It's scaring me just a little bit, but not scaring me and like, oh my God, we're going to 25, 20,000, 18,000, nothing like that. Just like, hey, we might be forced to take a dip back down here to 28,000, 29,000, then we have another opportunity to buy back up. I'm just hoping that since we still are at a level of support, today Bitcoin finds a way to have a pretty monster move back up. I would want to see Bitcoin really break above that 20-day moving average by the end of, let's not even be greedy, let's just say by the end of tomorrow. And I would try to buy some longs here into that regard here, but it's just been annoying to kind of hold these trades here over the past few days, right? So maybe there'll be another opening here. As far as other, let me get rid of some of this stuff. As far as other stuff I've been watching, some of the things I've been trading personally have not been so much Bitcoin as it has been stuff like comp. I shorted comp down over the past few days, and it's definitely been pretty good. You know, I guess there's from over here. I didn't really get the bottom over here, but it got close. Me being me, I told you guys I normally sell too early. I shorted way over here about 82 bucks, so right about there. It went up higher, but you know, I can't get the best price. But I ended up closing it right around here on $73, $74, and now it's all the way down to below 70. My price target was 70, but I was like, let me just close this now because I was afraid we were going to have a big rally here. And you don't even know how big these rallies are going to be. So I ended up coming down here to 70, 71, almost 70 cents, like $1 away. Then it had that big reversal, and you know, I'm okay with where I sold it, but I was definitely kicking myself afterwards after I saw it come back down again. I hate seeing these types of reversals. It usually gets me to squirm out of a position, especially because I just want to make sure that profit is locked in. Because normally, as the price goes down on a short, I will adjust my stop loss. So when it comes back up and it hits that stop loss, you're like, okay, fair enough, I'm out, but I still walked away with some money. But you look at stuff like this, comp is looking for a bearish trend to continue on right here. I'm excited to see if I can open up another short, and maybe I could have a price target of 65 bucks this time. Go over here on the daily chart. We're getting very close to having a dumping effect here. We already had that small breakdown here as far as, there we go. Comp, this was a very nice play over the past few weeks, but you know, things aren't looking as positive at this point. And that kind of, we'll go back to crypto here in a second, but that kind of leads us to what happened today as far as earnings. I won't say this was necessarily a disaster, but I do want to talk a little bit about Tesla and Netflix, because they're starting to make moves here, and you're starting to see some concerning signs, but nothing that would really cause you to change your strategy so far, I would say. Concerning, I'm not changing the strategy so far. So let's go over here to Tesla, maybe the 5-minute chart. There we go, so we can see the after hours action. Tesla had earnings, a slight pop, a slight dip, but then, you know, I'm guessing it was probably because the call happened about an hour, maybe 45 minutes after the earnings report was announced. I'm thinking that call wasn't so good, and that really led to this larger move we saw coming down. So far, it looks like after hours, Tesla came down about 4%. Not nearly as bad as you would expect for something that happened, like, you know, it's not good, but I feel like sometimes when we see earnings today, sometimes we see stuff popping or dropping like 10%, going up 5%, all that type of crazy stuff. And then on top of that, the other one was Netflix. There you go. Another one here. This one was definitely more dramatic at the beginning. I think it's just getting harder and harder for these people to get subscribers, because what Netflix is doing now apparently is, if I can show this to you. Okay. Netflix gets rid of its cheapest base. Oh, no, I don't want to do ads. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Good. Okay. Oh, it used to have little buttons saying don't, you know, no, what do you call, I don't have to do it if I don't want to. Continue site. There you go. All right, whatever. Netflix gets rid of cheapest basic ad-free option in the United States and the United Kingdom. All right. So these companies are now doing some pretty drastic things in order to get your money. Now, I have never actually had the cheapest Netflix plan because I pay for Netflix for my whole family. So my mom, my sister, all for them. I am concerned that Netflix really isn't going to have a great future over the next like year, maybe year and a half, just because it seems like people don't want to spend that much money on Netflix. They don't want to spend this much money collectively on all these streaming products. And then on top of that, I guess Netflix every now and again gets into some controversy with politics, which is always so polarizing, of course. But yeah, I don't know how people are going to react to this, because if you're paying for the cheap plan, are you going to double up to the next big plan, like Netflix prices, plans and pricing? So I got the premium one. I think it costs like $20 a month. Yeah, premium $20 a month. No problem there. But the standard right here was unlimited ad-free movies, TV shows, watch on 2 supported devices, watch in full HD, download on 2 supported devices at a time, and option to add 1 extra member who doesn't live with you. Yeah, that seems fine, right? But now that they're now that this is going away, it seems like pretty soon this is going to be more expensive, basically. And the premium one is what they're trying to push people towards. I have a few phones, tablets, computers, stuff like that, TV, TVs in the house. So I have to have the premium one. But let me know what you guys think about this Netflix stuff, because the fact that they're doing this signals desperation to me, not like optimism, like, oh, we're going to be doing something great. The market rewarded them for cutting off people that hadn't been using their services for a while. They've been like mooching off with their friends and such. The fact that they're being forced to do this does not get me thrilled about the future of Netflix as far as a stock price. They may come out with some good movies and stuff like that, but I don't know. You'll have to see. And hey, Michael, Apple TV's been what you watching? Apple TV, they're coming out with Napoleon at the end of the year. That's going to be awesome. And hey, Jim Bob, hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. I'm still getting over my, I got my wisdom tooth pulled last week, and I kept on talking, and I kept on not giving it the time it needed to heal, so I kind of fucked it up. Not like so bad I had to go back to the dentist, but like my stitches came out early, and then I had to make sure my mouth is hydrated, so I didn't get like the dry slot thing, I don't know what it's called, where you have an exposed nerve in your gum. And so, yeah, I had to take a break because I did like an hour stream with you guys, and I really should have done it. But I was on so many pain pills, I didn't feel the pain that my gum was going through. And so after the pain wore off, I was like, But just mending after the wisdom tooth surgery. Because remember, guys, I'm going to Vegas this Sunday. I'm taking my mom, and we're going with the whole limo trip and the Aria, little luxury trip for my mom. But I am still trying to make sure that besides this, I'm not talking too much, so I don't have to worry about like being able to chew a steak and stuff like that. Because when I go out and I'm going to eat a steak or anything like that, I'm going to still have to chew it in the left-hand side because my jaw is still inflamed enough, or the gum area. Well, I can't close my mouth all the way because it would be too much, two inflamed gums can't touch like that. It would just hurt. That makes sense. On the better side of news, yesterday was Loki's birthday, so he enjoyed that. He got a premium prime steak from the meat shop, and I gave it to him. He licked it for a little bit until I cut it up for him, and then he just like scarfed it down, like ate the whole thing. So he got a big old steak. He got some toys. He just got a new massaging toy, which electronic. We put it on his head and it massages him. So he's been spoiled over the last couple days. Anything else really going on with me? Not really. Just kind of watching the market. Good news for you guys. Maybe, I don't know. I did end up paying for 2 new streams, so 24-hour streams. I told you guys this a few weeks ago that I was getting ready for this, maybe last week, because I've been using them for a while and I pay a lot of money for the servers. I was like, hey, can you help me out? Normally when I sign up for them, it takes them 2 weeks to set up the server, 2 whole weeks. So this time they did it for me in 4 days, which I'm immensely grateful for. And on top of that, now I'm just waiting for the head of Lux Algo, Sean. He's going to get me access for my other, so basically this is what it entails. When I put a stream out there for you guys, I'm paying money for the stream every month, but you guys know how there's a trading view account associated with it. I'm paying for the Pro Plus plan for every single one of those streams. So I'm about to have 4 Pro Plus plans plus my premium plan for trading view for these streams, and I have to keep track of all of it because it gets kind of confusing with the credit cards and stuff. However, that's not the big thing. Don't worry about the cost. The channel makes it up, and stuff like that. What's interesting now is now I just gotta wait for Sean to get me the code so that I can get the premium indicators. Big point being, for the next stream I'm going to do, it's going to be a quadrant stream. I've been looking at Kick, so I'm going to have one stream added onto Kick and one more stream added onto my channel. And one of the cool things here that if I can find it, Kick. This thing is here. My birthday is September 29th. This thing has been glitching out on me, so I'm not really entirely sure how to do this. Or let's just change my day. Okay, maybe I'll go to my business email. That should work out a little bit easier. This is it. Okay. And now I've made a handful of Google accounts, so each Google account matches with the TradingView account. So if you saw that, it's a bunch of Google accounts. So if I go to Kick, all right, no login, just do this. Okay. So, oh, I am logged in here, so this one actually works. Okay, so if I go over here to Kick very fast and I go type in crypto, there's only a few streams on here, but one of the streams is right here. Oh, I don't know where it is. Oh, it's not on right now. Oh, yeah, here it is. It's like one of these streams like this where it has like 4 different charts on it. And basically, my goal is to have a 4 chart setup on TradingView on the Kick stream. So I can see how that performs and stuff like that. There are people multi-streaming here, but there's not really many crypto people here. So I'm just going to set it up, leave it alone, and see where it goes. You know, see how it goes. I don't know much about Kick, but I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And I think I like, so far, I like Kick more, better than Twitch. Every time I hear something about Twitch, it's something negative. So I'm just like, let's not go down that route, right? Now, as far as the stream I'm going to be adding onto YouTube here, I'm still not entirely sure how I want that to be. Maybe I'll do another 4 quadrant chart, you know, thing on YouTube, but this is basically what it would look like for you guys if I did do the quadrant one. So let me go over here. Let me just testing for tutorials. Let me just do this one here. So we'd have to get rid of some of this stuff here. Yeah, get rid of the oscillators here. So it would look something like this, but of course, like full screened. So you would have a bunch of different charts. I might be, you know, of course, it'd be zoomed in a little bit, but you might have, it might just be something like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Comp. Those 2 bottom ones have been moving pretty fast. Maybe that'll be something really fun to watch. But I'm thinking of doing something like that so people kind of watch and enjoy it. But of course, I gotta figure it out a little bit more here. But they're almost ready to go. I just want to have some of the premium overlays because I've been talking to the head of LuxAlgo, and he's like, hey, you know, I came to him. I was like, hey, what are the best setups that you've seen work with on your Discord channel? And so he gave me a couple of setups I think you guys are going to like. I'm not going to be using the oscillators just because I don't think there's really enough room for it. However, I do think it'll be, you know, it'll just be fun to have the extra 4 charts on there so people can talk and kind of chill out a little bit. Let me pop this one back over here to the main one. And of course, you know, as time goes on, we'll maybe tweak them every now and again. But I'm still not entirely sure how many streams I could have on YouTube at once. So at this point, I have 2 streams, with the third being this one. So at most, I have 3 streams going on. However, in the future, you know, if the streams are profitable in such a way that I can kind of like justify adding more and more and more and more, my goal is to have maybe up to 5 or 6 24-hour streams going on YouTube every single, you know, at all times. And then maybe we'll have one that's just for, you know, crazy coins like the meme coins, one for just like the big cap coins, things like that. We'll have to see. But usually the 24-hour ones, they're usually my favorite ones right now as far as, sorry, the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Dogecoin one and the one we have, which is the Bitcoin. Those are usually my favorites of the streams I've ran so far because I did have more streams like last year or so. Now that this is getting set back up again, I'm hoping they do well. And I kind of learned a little bit how to manage these 24-hour streams as well. So you kind of just have to leave them alone for a while, and even if nobody's watching, you just have to like say, hey, eventually the algo is going to pick it up. It'll be fine. And then I have to choose the best. I have to tweak the thumbnails, tweak the titles and stuff like that and see what works. Because when I first started that Bitcoin stream that I have on right now, it was a hot mess of just not working. You know, fast forward a few months and now it's doing fine. It's adding subscribers, it's making me money. You know, not really like I wouldn't say life-changing money, but enough to carry, like make the stream itself profitable there, so I can actually just add more and more and more and more. I think so far that's really been good. So yeah, that's what's kind of going on as far as the channel is concerned. Not too much big updates here as far as what I'm doing. Just the Vegas stuff happening this week. I'll send you photos of my mom getting into the limo or something. It's SUV limo of some type. I don't know. But she'll enjoy it, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what's going on. As far as other tokens and stuff like that, we've already talked about Bitcoin here, and basically the big premise is, hey, it doesn't look as good right now as it did last week, or yesterday you could even say, but we're at a major level of support. If you guys want to be buying, this is still a good buying opportunity. Usually what I would say here is you could buy Bitcoin, or you can buy some type of altcoin that's up against a moving average on the 20 or daily charts. Then you could expect a nice big pop for the day, and that's usually what I'm going for here. Now, if you go over here to the daily chart and you kind of just scroll down, you see Ethereum is pretty close. Ethereum's also at an old level of support, even though it did break down a while ago. ADA here, not at a level of resistance. Dogecoin had a nice little volatile day yesterday's day candle, right? But not near a moving average. ApeCoin, kind of buy one, but I just don't exactly know what happened here. Yesterday, nothing happened with Bitcoin, I guess, so it was trying to go up as Bitcoin was just trying to hold support, and I think that's what I saw. I might try to say that, hey, because ApeCoin is so oversold, maybe we have an opportunity for it to bounce back up here towards 228. I'd be interested to see that. Everything else, though, like Bitcoin Cash, still pretty far away. We talked about this possible breakout. Did not happen. Matic right here, bouncing off support. BNB, maybe this is something you guys want to go. Kind of risky with the lawsuit and stuff, but fine. Chili's over here, interesting, looking for a golden cross. Crow here, doing okay, not great. I wouldn't probably buy this one here. Sheeb, holding support. I'm hoping Sheeb can have a really big move. People that have been holding Sheeb for a while have definitely been kind of morally hit, just because it's come all the way back down to where it was in the last bear market, which is never a fun thing to see. Dot, not much here, right? So you're looking for those things that are kind of below those moving averages. Maybe if you guys go over to the 4 hour, you guys might see some more. Dot is something where it has a potential for a breakout over the next, like sometime tonight, basically. But keep an eye out for some of those ones. Comp is something that you guys might like, but this actually had a, that breakdown that we'd already talked about. This has already had its big move, so be careful. Pepe coin already had a big move, but looks okay. You're looking at some tokens that kind of look more bearish than others, but if Bitcoin can just bounce today, a lot of that will change, and that's where you're going to see some of those larger moves here. Even for stuff like Spell token, which is, let me go over here, yeah. Kind of been coming down a lot over the past few months. We're still not at that breakdown point, and we're still in this nice consolidation. I'm hoping we can have a breakout soon going forward, okay? Now, let's go back over to Bitcoin. I'll go to sneeze vape. Excuse me. I was trying to say I was going to sneeze very fast, but then it just kind of came out. I got to protect myself because I can't mess with my wisdom tooth that's still healing. I got to sneeze in a very specific way, so I got to oh, yes, shit, that hurt. I got to move that force over to the other side of my mouth here. All right, there we go. But right now, Bitcoin's chill, guys. There's nothing too dramatically crazy. You're just starting to see some of those warning signs. But above all those warning signs, you have that support level. So if you guys wanted to buy right now, you have a pretty close level of support that if it doesn't work out, you're good to go. You maybe lost a few percent, but you're not really shooting yourself in the foot off of a big trade. Let's see it here. And hey, Monica, do you think XRP can go up to $1.02 here? Where is XRP on my chart? There you go. $1.20 within a week. 92. It has the potential to, but it's going to have to take a really big piece of news in order for that to happen. You're seeing everything's already turned around because we've had that really big move from the lawsuit. But I mean, just zoom out a little bit here. There's a few different opportunities, but I think we talked about this. I can't remember when it was. I think it was sometime last week when I was still getting over my my wisdom tooth. At this point, remember, we got rejected a few times from this first level of Fibonacci extension. We got rejected here, nothing crazy. This is a weekly chart, so it'll give us some time. The next one up here is towards 127. That's what you're really hoping for. But I would, if you're buying right now 83 cents as far as XRP, I'm scaling out at 90. I'm scaling out at $1. I'm scaling at $1.10, $1.20. I'm not going to just go for $1.20, but yeah, it has the potential to get up there. But on the next week, I never assume the big moves are going to happen like that. I buy the bullish signal, then you kind of ride it up as far as it wants to take you while you're scaling out. I would say it can get up to like $1.20 potentially, but we're going to have more news or something like that occur. Maybe extra people have more news because of what's still going on with the SEC, because they still lost part of the battle, but they kind of won the war here. Maybe something with a little bit of a nugget of a loss may come out more positively, or maybe there's some more news to come out that can actually help it out. Yeah, it can still get above $1, I would say. I'm going to get myself a drink of water here. Hold on. And you guys can see Bitcoin bouncing off support. And then just trying to hold it right now. Just trying to hold it. It's not the most fun thing to look at, but put it in perspective, it's doing okay. If Binance and BNB ever does fail because of all this FUD, then what happens to the BNB and the Binance Smart Chain? I hold a bunch of alts on Binance Smart Chain. Will I have an issue with these tokens? Probably, yeah. I'm not an expert in this subject, so I'm not going to try to be, but from what I understand, which is limited, I got mostly friends that are kind of all in all this space. Yeah, it'd be an absolute catastrophe. That's the type of event that would drop Bitcoin down to like $10,000 or so. It's that type of event because they have so much. And remember, it's not like the Bitcoin they own is going to go straight to America, because we only have a Bitcoin US, Bitcoin, the global conglomerate, if you will, or exchange. That's where that holds all the Bitcoin, all the big stuff that we have to worry about. So far, it seems that they're fine. I don't really see any big issues with them. But now there's just kind of a haze above it where people are kind of like, uh-oh, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? Because Binance has been getting taken shots. People have been taking shots at Binance for years now. And because of the SEC and really Sam Bankman-Fried, there's a big microscope on a lot of these exchanges, and it can definitely cause some damage if for the whole smart chain, the whole company, all of it. If it's under the umbrella of Binance, there's a good chance it can really just get demolished in a matter of like a few days, few weeks. That's why it's always important to have Twitter. Just kind of keep your ear, listen to see what's going on. But we haven't had any really big news yet. There's been some events where people have freaked out and pulled all their money out of Binance in the past, but it's managed to hold strong. There's been a few times where BNB has taken big hits. It's come back up. It's a risk, but you're taking this similar type of risk with a lot of exchanges these days, just because of you never know if the SEC is going to do something like, oh yeah, we don't want you here, stuff like that, right? Let's see here. Hey, Beastbeam, dry socket. That's exactly what it is. I don't have dry socket, but I thought I could for a second because, this is what also happened. So, I've also been really busy last week because I don't even know how to describe what happened. So Loki, his inner eyelid came out, like popped out partially. So he's on medication and eye drops now to fix it. But like, I never knew such a thing could happen with dogs. So I was freaking out because I took him to the vet. I paid the emergency vet fees. I called all over the place. The only place that would take him until I got a special number from a vet that I know, or a vet that my friend knows. The only place that would see him within 12 hours, and they couldn't see him earlier than that. Luckily, a friend of mine knew a vet, and he's like, hey, try this number. They're new. They're not on the Google yet. So they were really good. They're really awesome. They're like a family vet type of place where the mother-in-law works the vet with everybody there as well. But dog's inner eyelid. I don't know how to describe it. I really don't know how to describe what happened with Loki. Images. Okay, so it's not as bad as what you're seeing right here. I don't know what the heck all this is. See this little black ring right here? Inner eyelid right there? See that little thing right there? So this thing came detached from that white stuff, and it was over his eyeball. And so I was like freaking out because I saw it. He wasn't in any pain. He wasn't whining. He wasn't scratching. He wasn't doing anything. But I have no idea how it happened, but it happened. So of course I like slightly moved it back with just clean finger. And then I was like, okay, let's figure this out. Because at one point when it got over his eye, he was sitting like this. And I was like, oh shit, I gotta figure this out, right? And so I've been dealing with that with Loki. They sent him home with a cone, but since he wasn't scratching, I took it off, and he's been fine ever since. But Loki with a cone, he does not like it. And fun fact that all of you guys probably already knew: no, Loki does not like vets. Loki does not like vets at all. So every time the vet came over with treats, he jumped on my lap and came with me. He does not like the vet at all. Whenever somebody randomly somebody new meets Loki, he is the most lovable dog in the world. But he knew when he was at the vet, he was like, I don't trust any of you guys. Don't come close to me. I'm sitting next to my master, and I'm just gonna be over here. If you come close to me, I'm jumping in his lap, and then you guys can't touch me either. But yeah. But when the doctor was doing the pressure test for his eyeball and doing all this weird stuff with his eyes, Loki sat there like a champ and dealt with it. He didn't growl. He didn't bark. He was a very well-behaved dog, so I was very proud of him. And then, of course, he had his birthday yesterday, so Loki is now officially 2 years old, so that's awesome. But yeah, I felt so bad for him. Because, he wasn't in any pain, but I was freaking out. I was just freaking out. I have no idea what the heck was going on. Hey, PHX just turned 2 years old. So, his formal name, I remember on his birth certificate, it's Loki, and then his parents' last name is Heffenweisen. It means wild rose. In German, I think it was Heffweisen. It has those weird little dots and apostrophes on top of the letters, so I can't pronounce it because I'm not familiar with German. But and then his last name is my name now, Whitman. But he's 2 years old now. I'm gonna take him to see his parents maybe over the summer somehow, because I'm thinking of getting another German Shepherd. I'm just not sure just yet. It really depends if I can still figure out a way to get Loki down to Ecuador. That's really my only concern these days, is figuring out a place for him. Let's see right here. I'm holding Luna Classic. I see big things coming before. Hey, Perez. Yeah, just make sure if you guys are holding stuff like that, it's best to hold for the long term into the next bull market. That's where those types of things take off, and they just rally. Everybody goes back to memeing about them, and like, oh my god, this is crazy. That's the best way to make the money off of those ones. And ML, I found your channel about a week ago. I watched your Think or Swim paper trading tutorial, the best I'd seen. Recently opened a paper trading account. Any tips to learn technical analysis? Books are your friend, and YouTube is your friend when it comes to learning technical analysis. Let me put this Bitcoin thing on the 1 minute chart so we can kind of see what's happening here. Those are going to be your best friends. When you're paper trading and you're learning how to trade, the next best thing I want you to figure out is what's the best way that you can record your trades. So you're probably going to want to start a trading journal, and I'm very organized about how I do my trades, so this may seem overkill to you, but you can dull it down a little bit. When I first started to learn how to trade, and this is the way I would recommend it to people, choose 10 stocks to trade and only trade those 10 stocks. If you want to trade crypto as well, trade 5 crypto tokens and just trade those 5. Those can be Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana, XRP, Dogecoin, whatever you want it to be. Just choose them and stick with them. Now, then you're going to go to Google, set up a trading journal, those free ones online that you can download, stuff like that. I used to have one, but it's somewhere in there. I don't think I have the link on the bottom because I'm selling it now. I don't think I have the link to sell it down on the bottom. I should do that. But anyway, you're going to want to have a trading journal just for your XRP trades, just for your Bitcoin trades, just for your Tesla trades, just for your Microsoft trades. So you can see how good you are each individual stock, because eventually you might just realize like, hey, you're trading with 50% accuracy on Tesla, so you probably want to keep on paper trading and learn how to trade Tesla just a little bit more. But you may notice that, hey, wow, I'm doing very well with trading Microsoft. I'm trading at 85% accuracy, and I've been doing that for the last couple months. I think now it's time for me to actually trade some options here and make some good money. And so, over time, you'll kind of get that. You'll be able to look at your data and say, hey, now I'm eligible. You're giving yourself eligibility to trade. Don't go rushing in there with real capital unless you want to do dollar cost averaging and you're buying for the long term, which of course is fine. Although who wants to be buying a lot of these assets at these crazy levels at this point? But yeah, even if you dollar cost average now, give it a few years, it's still going to be higher than where it is now. But yeah, just take your time, learn, really record your results, and be frank with yourself about how good you're doing or how bad you're doing. You're really looking for about 100 trades per a stock before you feel confident. These are usually day trades, not so much swing trades, because swing trades can take a very long time. But your last 100 trades, you're hoping to get 80-85% accuracy, and then you could have some fun with it. Don't cheat yourself. Just put in the hard work. Learn the technicals. Learn the different indicators. Learn how to use Thinkorswim efficiently, and it'll go far for you. Don't be afraid to join some of those chat rooms they have over there to ask questions as well. And usually they have these little advisors that can pop in after who knows how long it may take them, but they can hop in to help you out as well. Let's see. And hey, Rich, can I look at Ethereum's monthly chart MACD? You're saying it's bullish, so let's go back over here. Oops, that's not it. Oh, S&D. I was like, what the heck stock is this? Coinbase. Ethereum monthly for the long term. And you're saying MACD. Average divergence. Yes. Okay. We haven't had the crossover yet, so I can't just say it's bullish, but it's getting to the point where, yeah, you can. The trends have shifted. Things are going in the right direction. To me, I think of it as more bullish when you see the trend actually start to go back up a little bit. So kind of back over here towards October of last year. Then of course we had FTX, which kind of like bombed everything out of existence. But yeah, it's been looking okay since last year, October, as far as this MACD is concerned. Now we're getting closer and closer to having a flipping over effect. If you go over here, look at the chart, you're kind of getting rejected off of the 20-month moving average. Is it bad? No, you can get above it over like next month or even later on this month. The weekly moving averages, a little bit of a different story. So we've had that crossover. You've seen the momentum come down. This is much more bearish on the weekly chart. The daily chart, I think, was something similar. Yeah, you start to see that momentum come back down. And of course, you're seeing this divergence where the price is going higher, and higher. And you're seeing the price go lower and lower here so far. That divergence right here is not going to be pleasant. Hopefully we can break out of that divergence. We can see Ethereum go up as Bitcoin's at support, etc., etc. But right now, yeah, you're seeing some mixed messages. And when you're seeing those mixed messages like that, it's always a pain to try to guess to see what happens next. Luckily, we have Bitcoin here. And if we go over here to the Bitcoin monthly chart, Bitcoin's already had that crossover, and I think that's more of the bullish signal that you guys are looking for. And it also managed to break out above that 20-month moving average. Now, we are looking at a death cross to occur with the 20-month and the 50-month. I don't think that's going to be a huge deal. I mean, it should be a bad deal, but we've just never had it happen before. So it really depends on how good the economy is, I would say, come December. It's going to be a while before that happens. We really just don't want to break down below the 20-month moving average after all that work we did to get out of it. Weekly charts, again, Bitcoin got more bearish. It's still kind of bearish at this point, honestly, from the weekly MACD perspective. Again, just because of that divergence. Am I very concerned about it? No, not really, but I'm just hoping that we can break out of this sideways trend that we've been in, this range, so to speak. It's been kind of an annoyance. But as far as the MACD, it's okay. It's fine. It's not like, oh my God, you better start buying now. It's more of, okay, the trends have shifted. They've been shifting for a while now. Maybe we have that crossover. So if you guys are looking for multi-monthly gains, that's what you're looking for. But it's going to take months and months and months of holding to get that right. Like if I go back over here to let's go to Ethereum. Let's go to monthly here. Move my face over here. This is really okay. It's going to be hard to. Yeah, there's not as much data as here as you would like it to be. Bitcoin will be a little bit different. No, it's not going to work. So you just got to be aware that sometimes when you have that crossover, it doesn't mean that everything is good. So right here we have the crossover, and look at that. That was kind of the high point of the market, came back down. So don't just only look at the MACD, but use it as part of a bunch of other factors here. You see we had a big downward move right there, or we had a little bit of a breakdown right there, but the next month it ended up skyrocketing, and then we had that big move, right? And so then, of course, this MACD turnaround was really the nice one. Go back over here a little bit. Got to really this over here, right? Here was a classic, wow, this worked from bear market to bull market. Very, very nice. Very, very easy, so to speak. But this is all back in here in 2015. We're not going to see those easy days of trading for a while. But yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good for now. Let's go back over here to daily charts. What was it? Oh, 5-minute chart, I think we're at. But yeah, those tons of indicators out there. For the monthly chart, though, no, you can do that. I don't use the MACD on the monthly chart all too much because normally I'll tweak the MACD settings. So when you guys go over here to the MACD, you guys know I've made videos about this. I'm not gonna go into it too much. You can change the fast length or the slow length and the source and the signal smoothing, right? I think when you're talking about Ethereum in particular, when you go over here to the monthly chart, I think a lot of times people prefer to go with the high-low so you can get that nice range instead of just the closing price. But that might actually show you a little bit more of a positive outlook, I would think. Well, let me see. I don't want to be talking out of my ass here. Hello. No, it still hasn't crossed over yet. It's closer, but it hasn't crossed over yet. So small move, nothing crazy. Do I have to go to high-low close? Oh, it's there, but it's just not crossing over yet. So we're on the verge here as far as Ethereum's concerned. But again, watch out for Bitcoin as well. There we go. But I think, do we ever break out? We still haven't broken out above this resistance level up here. We've come close, but we just haven't been able to do it yet as far as Ethereum's concerned. Let me see. Fibonacci extension, but from the other side here. I guess we can go right here. If we do get rejected, we'll probably just come back down here to 1425, which isn't terrible, but definitely not good. Excuse me. Ooh. I mean, Bitcoin's in a lot of the similar situation here. At that big level of resistance, trying to break out and just hoping we can because we don't want to stay here forever. Going sideways like this is just always so boring. Let's see. Do you think we will have a 2019 summer into the winter with Bitcoin? Honestly, I couldn't tell you because of how wacky this economy is going right now. I've never seen an economy like this where so many people are kind of suffering day to day, but the stock market's been rallying so freaking much. Normally there's this kind of balance. I think we all kind of see it where there's people that are suffering that don't really have a lot of money, but the majority of America is kind of doing okay. Like a good section of it, that middle class is growing, everything's fine. I just don't know how to put it in my head that you see inflation is just wrecking a whole bunch of people. They're putting all this money on credit cards and the debt is rising and people can't afford houses and all this type of crazy stuff. And yet the stock market is going up and up and up and up. And I'm wondering at what point do people break and say, whoa, I can't afford this anymore? We haven't really hit that level yet. Yeah. I would say we're in store for a volatile, very volatile summer, but I don't think this rally goes into an all-time high type of thing. I think eventually we have a pretty drastic pullback of 50, 40%, and that might be your next big shot of buying up a whole lot of crypto. That's with no exchanges going down. I don't want to see Binance go down, KuCoin go down, Fairdesk, BitGet, whatever they are. The exchanges have to be in a good spot. And I think they are, but I mean, after what happened to FTX, I think we all were kind of just blindsided by it. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Let's see. And hey, Rich, Cherry Eye just popped back in. It doesn't work like that. It moves all around. So the doctor had to test it out. He got the pills. He got saw by the vet, so he's fine. But yeah, I wish it was something as simple as just popping it back in the eye. I would have done that myself if I could. And no worries, Mel, happy to help you. And hey, Jim, Stellar's trying to break out right now. Ooh, there you go. Good luck on the trade. Can I look at Lucid? What about Lucid? I don't think it's been doing anything too crazy. Lucid is one of those things that, like a Rivian and stuff like that, we just kind of hold and we're just hoping that it it has a good move. Oh, not tool or function. I want to go over here to, let's go this one. There you go. All right. So historically this thing is in a really bad spot, but at some nice lows. So if you guys are hoping that this thing can have a big boom, you could technically buy at these, I won't really call it support levels because it's not really at a level of support. But if you're feeling that, hey, it's bottomed out a little bit, you might want to be holding it for a month or 2 months or something like that. That's more of the play here. Really, when it comes to stuff like Lucid, I really think about it in terms of longer term. So I have an average of this one, I think around $10 or so. So I'm down. I'm down. but it's a long-term play here. It's a very long-term play. I'm hoping that it works out. Now, going over here to the weekly charts and stuff like that, you can see we've still been making these new lows. These are new lows here. From a technical aspect, you're starting to see a slowdown of that move down, but nothing really exciting that says, hey, we're going up, we're going up, we're going up. I think what people have been very excited about is you've seen other car makers kind of having these little big moves. I'm interested to see how bad this will do if Tesla, Tesla took a hit today, right? So you can see how when Tesla started to drop, this came down as well. This will probably have a really bad day tomorrow, just because Tesla's bound to come down like 10% maybe tomorrow, maybe 5%, 10% maybe too much. But we see those really big drastic moves. So maybe that's your opportunity to buy in here. But as you guys are looking at this, this is a short-term trend trade if you're trying to do it. I'd probably have a stop loss if you're buying it around $7, $7.25. My stop loss would probably be somewhere around $6. But honestly, if you're buying here for the long term, you don't really need a stop loss. You can write it off as a loss down the road. For now, if you're doing a trade, $6.50, $6 for a stop loss, and you're going to be hoping it can really rally up towards $12, $14, maybe $10 if you're being a little bit more conservative here. You can see how the trend is shifting slowly, but you really just haven't seen anything more than these kind of pump and dump things happening with it so far. One of the other ones that we've been looking at is Rivian. What is Rivian? RVN? No, renewables. There you go. This is something that's been having a pop, and I think a lot of people are having sympathy. There are a lot of people trying to find the next Rivian here, because I think you guys have maybe been seeing the pictures on Twitter and stuff as Rivians are hitting the road. Go over here to the weekly chart. Definitely a nice little reversal here. When it comes to these types of companies, though, it really depends on how are they being run, how are they being managed. When you go over here and you take a peek at them, maybe through FinViz. Rivian Automotive, right? Their market cap is $24 billion and losing about $6,500 million every quarter, it looks like, or every year. I'm not entirely sure for this one. They revamped their entire website, throws me off here. And the other one is Lucid. So instead of losing $6,500 million, right, they're losing $3,200 million basically, but they have a much lower market cap of around $15 billion. You don't really have as much trust here. But even here, you can see the downgrades, right? February downgrade, July 3rd, looks like it was resumed, neutral, $8 price target. Not the best, but, okay. That's kind of where we are right now. And July 17th, resumed, neutral, price target of 8. Go back over here very fast. So let's just look at the thing. It's at $7. Kind of where we're at right now. Nothing too crazy. You're hoping for that big move, but really you're going to have to be holding on for a few weeks or something until that big move happens. And then when you have that big move, you're most likely just going to want to sell on the day of, or I guess you would say maybe even after hours if it continues to move higher. But if you're trading options, you probably just want to have those options parked at about a month from now. Something like $12 strike price, so it's like really high, so it's a little bit cheaper to afford. And just kind of wait like a month and a half. But don't be greedy. If it pops up to $8, it pops up to $9, $10, scale out some until you've locked in your profit. And then from there, you can let the rest ride and see where as far as it goes. How do you think the fall of Binance would compare to the fall of FTX? Drastically worse, I would say. I think Binance holds a lot more cryptocurrencies and stuff like that. And I think at the same time, you remember when FTX was going down and like crypto was going over here, was like disappearing left and right, and we were able to kind of track it a little bit. Bahamas was kind of over there and stuff like that. If Binance goes down, I don't really know who's going to control where all that cryptocurrency is going and things like that, because maybe they just say, hey, Binance is fine, but Binance US is crumbling or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it would work out. It would just be much, much worse. That'd bring Bitcoin down below 15,000 in my opinion here. It would just be disastrous, because a lot of exchanges, a lot of different companies rely on Binance and their smart chains and the BNB and stuff like that. it'd be like a whole ecosystem disaster. Not just for like the people that hold Bitcoin and stuff like that, but for the whole like the ecosystem. I just said the word, but like the whole ecosystem of what's going on, it'd be a disaster. I think when it comes to Binance, though, I think they're fine. But you know, again, after FTX, you just don't know how bad things can get in a hurry. The U.S. government wouldn't get any of that cryptocurrency, and it's not like you would see Binance going up to Congress to testify, right? You're not going to see CZ do that. You know, just mass fear hysteria, people freaking out. It might cause Congress to do some really bullshit legislation to try to fix everything, which, you know, of course, it'll just hurt more than help. But yeah. And hey, Joseph's happy to see you back, man. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm in $7 week calls, looking good on the day. I'm wondering if you can give a little TA on the possible continuation. Okay, so here. So far, looking good on the weekly. 7 days looking pretty good. Okay, you're at a pretty decent level of resistance right now too. So you're pretty much at your first scale out point if you're going with the scale out route. Where is my cheat sheet? Is my cheat sheet? All the way down here. My computer's been bugging out where it's like been messing with the bottom part of my screen, and sometimes it hides stuff. Okay, cheat sheet up here though. Couple things. First thing, I just want to see this very fast. Are we blocked right here? No, we're doing fine. Okay, we had a breakout today. That next level of resistance really is 729. Add that 200 daily moving average in there. What is more concerning to me, because it looks like this can have maybe one more day of big rallies here, hopefully it has more than that, is this. If I can find, there we go. There you go. That level of resistance right there. You can see after we broke out here, we found support, then broke down. Now we're using it as a level of resistance. Going back over here to the 5-minute chart, you can see, you know, we kind of closed above it at the end of the day, but we didn't really open above it. So once we actually have a confirmation close above this, I think it's going to be a little bit more exciting to hold on to those calls. But you can even see right here, broke above it, then got smacked back down. That level of resistance is going to be key for us to break out. Through the rest of the day, issue, very, very difficult. So I would say this is probably your first place to take profit if you want to. After that, though, if you're hoping for this to go a little bit higher, your next level of resistance is really just up here towards 737. And again, that matches up with this, and it also matches up with that 200 daily moving average. You know, by the time it gets up there, I'd be the majority of my options would be sold. I'd probably leave a little bit on there to see where it goes, and I'd move the stop loss into my options. You know, maybe instead of selling at around, you know, what's that, 711, you pop it up to maybe 711, 710 from where it is now. That way, at least you know you're walking away with some good profit here, even on the back end after you've already done all your scaling out and stuff like that. Yeah, it looks fine. You don't really see anything too crazy. Let me pull up something here very fast. How's the MACD and stuff like this looking? MACD is good. Stochastic is good. A little high, but fine, you know. RSI maybe a little bit overbought, but I don't think I would see anything crazy here. No, not even overbought yet. We're getting there, but it's not even overbought. Weekly chart coming off of oversold. 4-hour overbought. Okay, 4-hour chart's a little overbought. Same thing up here. You're looking at a little bit of weakness, but again, that's just because with that level of resistance and you're seeing that slowdown happen right now, you're fine with it at this point. You're getting closer to the point where you want to sell it, though. I'm not saying you should be holding this option for like a week or something like that. Really, you know, until maybe next Tuesday, Wednesday at the latest. January 2024. Oh, yeah, you could hold these suckers for a lot longer. You're probably not making as much profit then because the options are so far out. Okay, if you're going to be doing that, you might be able to hold on to like 2-3 months from now, but really just be careful that you don't start falling back below like 675, 680. That'll be a little bit more of a hard play, so to speak. What is this, 588? Yeah, 630, 650. That's where I'd probably put my stop loss for now. But if it can continue to go higher and higher over the next few weeks, it should be fine. I'm not entirely sure how fast this thing normally likes to move, but you know, you have this consolidation pattern right here. It might come back down, and then you have another move. That's why I'm saying that you might want to have those stop losses moving up higher here, but that's a different type of trade there. Let's see. Then BlackRock swoops in and steals all the crypto. See, I don't even see. My thing is, I don't even know where that crypto would go in case Binance went down the drain, right? Like, would that Bitcoin just be held in wallets from the people that used to work there? What would happen with it? I don't know. Because BlackRock definitely wants to own Bitcoin, but at this point, it's kind of expensive again. It's not like it was at $15,000, right? You have 50% so far on them. I might do that and scale out on a couple soon and let the rest ride. Yeah, if you're going to be scaling, that's the safest way to play it. But since they're kind of expire so far out, you can definitely scale out like half, take your money, and let the rest of them ride and see where they go, because you have months and months and months to watch them. So you make your money, and you're like, let's see what happens next, and just don't have to worry about it. You just kind of check on them every now and again, see how they're doing and things like that. Yeah, no worries, Lido Cola, excuse me. Let's see. And hey, Jose, opinion on Sheeb? So it's really just a time of accumulation for Sheeb. You know, we've talked about it a little bit of times. It's really at that old level of support from all the way back over here, in 2021, before we had that big pop here. You know, I wish it was doing a lot better, but at this point it's not. It's at a level of resistance. So if you guys do want to buy and watch for that breakout, you're buying this week in order to sell next week or the week afterwards. Sheeb has had a history of having some big pops when, you know, when it does have these breakouts. So you could be fine with buying here. Big thing, you're at a level of resistance. Be careful when you choose to buy. You're having these, like, you know, small support levels that have the potential to break down, but you're far away from any of these longer term resistance levels. Like, let me just pop this right here, something like that. You know, you're still a few days away from even having to worry about getting that next level of support. For me personally, if I was to buy right now, I'd probably just give it a solid 3%. 4 or 5% stop loss, maybe 4%, and just see where it goes. You're having the golden cross, the trend is shifting, you're at a major breakout point here. If it does manage to have that breakout, then you're looking at a resistance level that kind of matches up to what you saw just a few months ago, back over here in May, June. That looks at about 13%. Nothing crazy, but 13%, you know, it's a pretty nice, pretty good amount of money to make here. Going back over here to the weekly chart very fast. There you go. You're really just seeing this consolidation phase happen, and you're hoping that Bitcoin rebounds and altcoins can get some rebounding as well. Be careful with it, but that's the play for it now. Support. Hopefully it breaks out the resistance though. Watch for that support low, because that's where I usually have my stop losses at. Look at the 15-minute chart here. Not really much movement here. Maybe an hour chart. Yeah, it's a basic consolidation. This would be an okay time to buy. You're just waiting for that big move to occur that brings you up maybe to 840, 860 in the short term. Then you're looking at something a little bit, you know, something much higher there, based off of that next level of support here. But that it should be, what did I say? 13% return. I would say 10 to 13% is what you're going to be hoping for if you were to buy Sheep today and hold it on to next week or the week after. There we go. All right, I'm going to call it a night here, guys. It's been a fun hour talking with you guys, but my tooth hurts, my gum hurts, and I want to make sure I can eat my steak and stuff like that when I go over to Vegas. I'm happy I was able to get to all of you guys' questions. Let me know if you guys need any help in the comments below and stuff like that over the next few days. I'm going to try to put out some more videos and have some stuff for you guys. And while I'm out in Vegas, I'll be doing some shorts showing you guys what I'm up to and stuff like that. It's only a short trip because my mom has to make it back in order in time for dialysis and stuff. So it's a very short trip, but I think it's going to have fun because we're going to be, you know, adventuring in Las Vegas. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for another short stream. And thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it.